Ephesians 3 verse 2, surely you have heard the administration of God's grace that was given to me. That is the mystery made known to me by revelation, so that you may be able to understand my insight into the mystery of Christ. Okay, so the mystery of Christ is amazing. And he said in verse 7, I became a servant of his gospel by the gift of God's grace given me through the working of his power, although I'm less than the least of all the Lord's people. This grace was given me to preach the boundless riches of Christ. Okay, and all this stuff. And then he said that in him and through him we may approach God with confidence. I ask you therefore not to be discouraged because of my sufferings for you, which are your glory. Here it is, the greatest apostle of all times. Received so much grace from God that even though he was the least of all the Lord's people, in other words, he is the least worthy of all the people. Amazing. You know, he said, I am the least of all the people, and yet God chose me to preach the unsearchable grace of God, the mystery of God. That was so powerful. And I ask you not to lose heart over what I'm suffering for you, which is your glory. It's amazing. He said, don't worry about my suffering for you, which is for your glory. You know, here it is. The man was used to reveal the unsearchable riches of Christ suffering. You know, it's like sometimes it's simply kind of amazing to understand. Here we struggle on our own problems, but our problem is nothing compared to Paul. He was suffering in jail in a lot of times when he wrote these epistles. And he said, all these unsearchable revelations that was given to me, and I give it to you, that's according to God's eternal purpose and all this fantastic theology. And finally, he said, so I ask you not to lose heart over what I'm suffering for you, which is your glory. And they said, for this reason, I bow my knees before the Father, which I will cover the next video. But I just want to say that, you know, when you read this, you realize that your suffering is nothing compared to Paul. And he has such immense revelations. And here we are, we try to nitpicking